Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the DockHaus. This is DockHaus Dialogue with Dom, our fifth show doing it. If this is your first time, we're talking about some of the stories here with the Lake Country DockHounds and what makes baseball so special here in southeastern Wisconsin. We've got bingo later tonight with Skipper Dave. That'll start at 6:30, but for the next half hour or so, we're going to be telling the story of Brady Kais. Brady is the only DockHound to appear in all three seasons here in Lake Country. He was with us briefly this season before going on the Banana Ball World Tour with the Party Animals. It was very exciting for you, Brady. You also hold the single season appearance record for the Lake Country DockHounds, appearing 39 times during last season in 2023. You're back home in Wisconsin for the winter before heading back to Georgia. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm cold. I'm definitely cold. It's a little different than Georgia.
And it's a little bit different for me from California as well. I had to deal with the snow this morning, and that was certainly fun. It was coming down sideways for the first time, truly, for me, and that was certainly eventful. And I'm glad that you were able to make it here safely, as well as all of our patrons who are here tonight. Thank you so much for being at the DockHaus. Very special event next week. Once again, doors open at 5 o'clock. We're doing a blowout DockHouse sale. All of our game-worn jerseys are available for $35, so come get your favorite player's jersey for $35. We'll also have a couple of players here as well for you to meet and greet. But Brady, let's talk about your career. And it started off at a bunch of really small schools. You had to prove yourself at three different small schools: Davenport, McHenry, and then Columbus State. Mm-hmm. That was, of course, the biggest at Division II. How did that path pave you to go on this professional journey?
Yeah, I mean, I went to different schools just trying to find myself in what I wanted to do for school. I mean, I didn't start off as someone that really thought I was going to play professional baseball, so I knew schooling was going to be something that was important. And I looked at changing my major a few times, so that kind of what led to me transferring around to different schools.
And you played both football and baseball growing up, so of course when you're so divulged in those sports and it just kind of consumes everything that you do, how difficult was it for you to find exactly what you wanted to do?
So I was actually a really big hockey player growing up. That was the sport that I loved the most. Baseball, I would say, was probably my third sport out of those three. And it didn't come until my senior year of high school where I started taking baseball more seriously and actually thinking that was what was going to be the path for college.
And we'll talk about your journey, but just talking about how you didn't realize that it was going to be baseball, how crazy is it to realize now that baseball is what you do on a day-to-day basis?
It's something I look back at, and I never would expect me to be in the shoes I am right now. It's special. And
at 2020 season, it was cut short at Columbus State, but for you got off to a really good start. You, in fact, didn't allow a single earned run. And then in 2021, your summer with the Kenosha Kingfish, that was also a really good season for you, or a really good summer for you. Was it at that point that you then realized, hey, maybe playing professionally in baseball could be an avenue for me?
So, my last year at Columbus State, I thought that I had another year that I was going to be able to go back, and I was looking at where I was at in life, and I wanted to kind of move on. I didn't have the funds to go back down to Georgia and stay in school. So when I was playing with Kenosha, it was just the last hurrah in playing in Wisconsin. Then, I got to be around in Wisconsin, back at Sticks where I train, and I got to talk to I saw Tom over there, and I just said, hey, are you going to have open tryouts? Because I was still throwing a little bit, and he said no, but if you want to throw, I'll come watch. And I was like, okay, well, I love the game, and if I can get the opportunity, I want to take that opportunity.
And you were on the DockHounds inaugural team in 2022. Then you were on the full season in 2023, and then just briefly in 2024 before you went down south. But for you to be able to pitch here locally in Oconomowoc, I know this isn't your hometown. You're from Milwaukee, more specifically Greendale. Then you also pitched for the Lakeshore Chinooks and the Kenosha Kingfish. So you've pitched for a couple of teams here in southeastern Wisconsin. Just how special is it for you to pitch locally? Because these two leagues, the Northwoods League and the American Association, what makes them so special is that you can choose your team and you can choose to stay locally.
Yeah. I mean, it was great for me being able to be out here playing travel ball out here, and then being right across the bridge to now being in this beautiful facility and being able to play here. It was unbelievable.
And for you to be able to stay at home, I know that's what you said you did last year. Just how cool is it for you to be able to live with your family and also be able to live out your dreams?
Yeah, I mean, I got to live with my now fiance and go through that journey of playing professional baseball with her, and it's something special to be able to go through the journey with someone that you love.
And then you also get to play in front of them as well. They don't have to travel to come see you play, and then you also don't have to worry about not seeing them because the baseball schedule consumes up your entire season. The only time you're able to go anywhere is during the All-Star break. So how special is it for you to be able to play or was it special for you to be able to play in front of them on a night-to-night basis?
It was great. I mean, it didn't matter if it was a Monday or a Thursday. If they were able to come, they were out here. And if I was in a different state or a different part of the country, that just wouldn't have been able to happen.
We mentioned you made your pro debut with the Lake Country DockHounds. You had that tryout that went well enough in front of Tom Kelnick and then our first manager, Jim Bennett. What was it like for you to make your professional debut while it was also the first game for the Lake Country DockHounds, so they themselves were making their debut at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, it was special in the fact that it was also against the Milkmen, where that was the team around Milwaukee that I got to watch. It was a couple blocks from my high school. So then to be able to go against them, throw against them, and then be able to play with guys that I knew training even before the DockHounds with, it was something special.
And you mentioned it was right there. You pitched really well against the Milwaukee Milkmen during the 2023 season. We always joked on our broadcasts that you owned Brian Torres, who was one of the best players in the league, and he's gone on to have even more success at some higher levels since last season. So it really speaks to Brady's pitching abilities, but your debut did not go very well.
No, it did not.
You faced 3 batters, you walked all 3 of them, and then you were removed from the game. So what was the feeling coming out of that outing? Because that was your pro debut. You remember that game the rest of your life.
Oh, I sure do. I don't really remember what I was feeling. I remember not being in the best spirits. I know I pride myself in my career of not walking people, and to come in and walk 3 batters and not get an out was something that I've never experienced. So it was definitely tough, but got back out there and I knew there was another game.
Right. How are you able to get over that hump when you have a bad outing like that? Because you have to go out and you have to deliver. Otherwise, if it snowballs and it gets worse, you're going to be released.
Yeah. I think at that point I was looking at every time I got to step out on the field as a bonus, just from how I looked at my last year of college and then coming here, like we talked about with the Northwoods. So any game, I knew if I was going out there, it was just a bonus. I'm living out someone's dream, and it was a dream of mine that I had then since I was 16.
And it got a little bit better with the Lake Country DockHounds, but your season ended abruptly, an 11.68 ERA. If anyone knows anything about baseball, that's
pretty high.
That's a high ERA, and the goal of the earned run average is for it to be as low as possible. So you were then released. You then got another opportunity in the Pioneer League with Glacier, but you only got to pitch a couple of times with them. So all of a sudden, it's your first professional season. July comes around, and you're a free agent. Mm-hmm. What was that like for you? Because it had to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it wasn't actually that tough for me. I looked at it as, hey, I had 2 opportunities. Did I do the best I could? No. But I know that I can compete. I know that I can get better, and that I do belong in a league like this. And I'm going to do that, and that's what I ended up doing.
And so then what was that off-season like? Because you trained to get back to play professionally, and it happened to be here, once again with the Lake Country DockHounds, and it ultimately went significantly better for you, as we already mentioned. You pitched 39 times. That is a DockHound single-season record, but what was that off-season like to get prepared to not have as poor of a season or as bad as a season as you did?
Yeah, I think I switched my focus on not playing on bonus time, but actually looking at this to be something that I wanted to do. I took it more as what it is. I'm trying to get to another level. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get guys out, and I knew I could before it was, hey, I'm happy to be here. That wasn't what it was that next year.
And the first team the DockHounds put out, it didn't go very well for the team, 34-66. And Tom, who does the player construction here at Lake Country, he constructed a much better team for year 2 than he did for year 1, so the expectations were higher. You made that roster, but you weren't on the opening day active roster. You were put on what's called the inactive list, so that means you have to sit out for a little bit, but you got your chance to prove yourself again. How rewarding was just even making the roster on the inactive list and saying, all right, the DockHounds still believe in me, and I'm going to go justify that?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that once I got my opportunity, I had to make the most of it. And once I got that opportunity, I wanted to go out there and show that I was not the same pitcher I was the year before.
And then all of a sudden, 39 appearances later, you remain on the roster the entire season. He went from not being on the opening day roster to leading the team in appearances. Just how rewarding was the 2023 season for you?
It was very cool to see, very, memorable. It was something that I think changed, not just with me, but the whole team. Was we all had the same goal. The goal was the same throughout the year as it went on, was to make the playoffs and continue into the playoffs. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But
the team started 4-13, and then all of a sudden, it took 99 games for the DockHounds to be eliminated from the playoffs. And you were a huge part of the reason why the team got to the point to get above 500 and then just barely miss out on the playoffs. And it truly was a lot of fun to watch you pitch last season. And I was really looking forward to watching you pitch this season in 2024, especially after you signed your contract early in the offseason to return to the DockHounds. I get back to Wisconsin from my home in California. Hey, Brady, it's great to see you. And you're like, I'm not going to pitch for the DockHounds this year. I'm going to go play banana ball for the visitors. How did that come about, just even trying out and finding out information to get yourself in contention to be on the visitors?
Yeah, so my roommate actually from Columbus State is the Bananas center fielder. So I had a connection through him. And when our season ended in 23, they were coming to play at Franklin Field, and I wanted to get together with him, see him. I haven't seen him in a little bit. And he just mentioned, hey, you should come throw for us. I was like, well, I don't really know. It's not really me. I just got done with this season. I didn't really know if that was something I should do. Ended up, talking with some of the guys, and I went through. Ended up going to a tryout after that. They offered me a spot with the visitors, which was another development-type tryout team. Got that opportunity a little bit into this last season and made the most of it.
And if I recall, the visitors, it was 8 games against either the Party Animals or the Bananas. So that's a really short amount of time to go out and prove yourself. Was there anything that they told you going into it, like, hey, here's what we're going to be looking for the Party Animals players and also the Bananas players? Or was it just, hey, go be yourself and we'll evaluate there?
Yeah, it was kind of, go have fun. You guys, we've all watched games. Everybody that was in there has seen Banana Ball and what it was about. We had 2 weeks of practice going up into the games, leading up to the games, and we got to start off in Savannah, which is a smaller venue. And so we got the feel of it. Had to open up. All the guys had to get used to the different game that we were playing. Then it would led up into us playing in Indianapolis, which was in front of 15,000 people, which was unbelievable.
And then 15,000 would eventually grow into 40,000. We'll get into that in a little bit. But you talked about breaking out of your shell and also just immersing yourself into Banana Ball. But before you got out there, you became Swaggy B. And for those of you who may be saying, all right, who is Swaggy B? Swaggy B was kind of the character that you just made yourself. You also created a TikTok. You're doing dances. You're doing all that stuff. Was that something that you would put in the back of your mind when maybe you first started that process, or was that something that you had to just kind of build up the courage to do?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely something you have to build up the courage. But once you're in Banana Land, everybody there is there to have fun, make an impact on the kids and, baseball as a whole. There's different people that have characters, things like that, and that was something that was kind of expressed to us with the visitors was, hey, how can you be remembered? And that was kind of something that just came about. I didn't actually come up with it. It was something that was said. We were going to watch some of the visitors guys we're going to watch the Bananas play the Firefighters. And, you know, we always have like our pregame fits and things like that. And I wore an outfit that one of the guys was like, oh, you got some swag to you. And I was like, okay, I mean, maybe, I guess. And then some of the guys just started calling me swaggy. And I was like, well, if that's gonna work, I guess it'll work. I ended up getting to my exit meeting after now I changed my names on different social medias, and the coaches go, oh, Swaggy B, what's going on? I was like, man, all right, I guess I'm Swaggy B now. So that's how that came about.
Well, they sometimes joke is that you can't give yourself your nickname. It just kind of has to come. Someone else gives you the nickname, so it's good that it came organically and that you've now embraced it. And there was some exciting news today, or I guess yesterday, was that the Party Animals were announcing their returning players, and you are among those. So congratulations, you get to play Banana Ball during the 2025 season. How excited are you for that?
I'm very excited. Get to be back for now a full year. Get to go to a lot of cool places that I missed out on last year, and get to impact more fans around the country.
Yeah, how cool is it for you to be able to meet some of your fans? I mean, I see photos on Instagram where the fans, they know who you are. You are Swaggy B. How cool is that experience for you, and how much are you looking forward to either meeting with those fans again or making more fans?
It's something that I, again, never thought was going to be something that was going to be in my hand of cards. So to be able to go out and see people and them come up to me wanting a picture with me, or, just to be around me is really something special.
And one thing I remember about spring training here with you is that you were talking about the difference that it was getting ready for Banana Ball, because you have to speed pitch, you have to do all those dances on the field in between plays. It's not during the plays, it's in between the plays, so that way it's still real baseball. The Jesse Cole and everybody who's associated with Banana Ball, make sure that fans truly understand that. But what's the difference for you, say now, training for Banana Ball than, say, when you were last December getting ready for the DockHound season?
Yeah, so I would say my conditioning now is everything. We're trying to throw a pitch every 6 seconds, where in the American Association here, or in most professional baseball, there's the pitch clock of 15 seconds.
Right.
And that's with nobody on base. It's 18 or 20 with people on base. So we're trying to take that and almost cut it into a third and throw a pitch to try and get someone out.
Right. There are a lot of pitchers and hitters in Major League Baseball and even in the American Association who really do not like the pitch clock. And most of them have come to accept it, and it's also proven that it's been really good for the game. Attendance is up, viewership's up, and that's ultimately why they put this in, so that way the casual fans don't have to commit 3.5 hours, but maybe only 2.5 hours. So is that something that you all have to buy into, the brand of Banana Ball? And obviously Jesse Cole is a huge inspiration for that, but do you guys all have to be like, all right, we have to do this, and it's going to be great, and the fans, they love it, so we're going to buy into it?
Oh yeah, I mean, everybody knows, hey, we have a 2-hour time limit. That's how long our games are, and we want to get the whole game in. We want to win that ball game, and if we don't get the whole game in, we might lose out on a run or an inning that we could lose. So we want to get the whole game in, and by doing that, we're trying to go play as fast but also as clean as possible.
And I think a lot of fans, hopefully DockHound fans, know what Banana Ball is, but they may not know everything about it. So when you talk about, you may lose an inning. Some people may say, what on earth are you talking about, Brady? But a unique part about Banana Ball is that each inning is its own independent game. And it may seem like a crazy concept. It's actually pretty cool. But just how different is it playing in Banana Ball than is it playing, in a normal game, per se?
It's very different. Something that we have, one of the biggest things I think for me that was different was, hey, if you're the away team and you don't score, the home team can score 1 run and the inning is over. You're not going to see 6 outs every single inning. You might see 3 outs because the pitcher didn't get the out for the home team. And that did happen to me, actually back-to-back innings, which was not very fun. But
no.
It's something that made for a good video.
I mean, hypothetically, there could be a 4-pitch full inning, a 3-pitch top half, and then the bottom half, the leadoff batter swings at the first pitch, hits a home run, the inning is over. I mean, it feels bizarre, but yet it's so entertaining because every play has an added importance.
Yeah, there's always something going on. And even when there isn't something going on actually on the field for, the playing purpose, there's something going on on the field that you're able to watch, you're able to see, you're able to listen to. There's music playing throughout the entire game. It really is something that if people have not seen it, to go take a look and try and experience some sort of banana bowl.
Right. What's the selling point for a DockHounds fan who maybe is closed off and more traditional? We were talking about this downstairs, but to say, hey, here's why you should come to a banana ball game, to come see the party animals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So everybody knows it is different. We're playing a game within a game, and it is a different sport per se. We're playing baseball, but in a completely different way, and you got to take it for what it is. We're out there to have fun. We're out there to entertain, and that's what you will see. You will get entertainment out of it. You will see a very high level of baseball. A lot of the guys that are playing in banana bowl have played professional baseball, so it's not just guys that they found out there just trying to have a game. It's high-level baseball.
Right. There are professionals like Brady Kais, pitched for the Country DockHounds
Yes,
for 2 seasons. You weren't our closer here. You were kind of the high-leverage or fireman guy. You were, for a while, the only left-handed pitcher on the staff. But you got the opportunity to close a couple of games, including in front of a sold-out crowd at Citizens Bank Park. I mean, you talked about how you would have never imagined this in your wild dreams.
Yep.
Here you are in front of 40,000 fans at the ballpark that a lot of people consider is the most lively ballpark in all of baseball. Maybe not in front of Wrigley or Fenway, but just the crowds in Philadelphia have been absolutely unreal. And here's Brady Kais pitching in a 1-run game in the 9th inning. You get the save. You're throwing your hands up in the air. What was that moment like?
I've watched that video back on YouTube a lot. My parents are watching it a lot, and I still don't think I can see it actually running through my mind. I blacked out. It was something that, there's 46,000 people, all loud. They're cheering. They want the Bananas to win. Most of the people are Bananas fans. Exactly. I don't understand it, but they did. And so we took that the biggest crowd that we've ever had in Banana Ball. The Party Animals took that show, and that was something that, oh yeah, definitely right there. There was something that, I can't, like I said, I can't describe it. I can't describe it for you. It was something special.
And so then you go from an 11 ERA in the American Association, and then 2 years later, I mean, really only a year and a half later, boom, you're doing this. I mean, it's all crazy, but you did it. I mean, do you ever just look in the mirror and you're like, dang, this is so awesome?
Oh yeah, I'm living out a dream that I dreamed to go to the big leagues, all that, and I'm not saying I'm in the big leagues. I'm definitely not in the big leagues, but I'm playing in big league stadiums and stadiums around the country that a lot of people don't get to experience.
I mean, you played in a bigger crowd at Lone Depot Park in Miami than the Marlins did all year. It's kind of hard to fathom, but that's what Banana Ball is. It's also what the Marlins are. They haven't put together a great team in a couple of years. It's just their reality, but that's how big Banana Ball is, and now you're a big part of it. You're going back to the Party Animals. I mean, Brady, at the Country DockHounds, we could not be any more happy for you because, of course, when you left or when you told us you weren't going to be here, we're all like, that sucks. Like, we wanted to watch Brady pitch for us this year, but then we see what you accomplish, and, I mean, it is just on a totally different stage, and it's incredible to see.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And then how did the DockHounds, help you get ready for that?
Yeah, I mean, this definitely got me ready for a lot. Playing against guys around this league that have played in the big leagues, AAA, AA, and then being able to play in those stadiums, knowing, hey, I'm not in that part. They're not there. I can get these guys out. I'm out there also to have fun, and it's very much low pressure for me, at least. I try and take the pressure out of it. I go out there, try and dance, have some fun, and get some people out.
Yeah. Well, Brady, thank you so much for joining me for DockHaus Dialogue with Dom, and thank you to everyone who came out tonight. If you want to come out to a future DockHouse, we have great Lake Louis beers. We have fantastic food, can get some service. You can listen to the show. We also have bingo. We have trivia. Next Friday is also college sports trivia.
Nice.
So if you bring a college sports jersey, hat, sweatshirt, whatever. You get a free beer. So hopefully you all can come out to the DockHouse. But Brady, thank you so much. Safe travels.
I got to ask you one more.
Yeah, what's that?
You got to be happy about your Sun Devils.
Oh, yeah. Sun Devils going to the playoff. That's it's a first time. And I'm very excited, trying to see if I can make it work with some friends.
There you go.
And my dad to go to Atlanta for the Peach Bowl. Kind of disappointed that we may have to play Texas. I feel like the 11-2 Big 12 champion Sun Devils should be higher than the 12-1 Mountain West champion Boise State Broncos, but we got the bye.
There you go.
I would be a very unhappy camper if Clemson jumped Arizona State with 3 losses, but they're in the playoff.
Yep.
They got the bye. I'm very excited to
Good.
be a Sun Devil and watch Cam Scadaboo, Sam Levitt, Kenny Dillingham go to work.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much once again, Brady. Safe travels back to Georgia in a little bit, and I hope you have a very successful banana ball season with the Party Animals.
Thanks for having me. Go DockHounds.